Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with my friend Tyler Rigg, and we are on part 2 of staying burn-proof in the journalism world. Staying burn-proof on your beat. That you talked about that last video. If you haven't watched the last video, please check that out. That was good stuff. That was exciting stuff. So I'm excited for part 2, my man. So
Me too.
let's rock. What is it? Tell me
So
more.
the second thing I had
Alright.
was what every reporter hears
Okay.
from the get-go, which is be factual.
Okay.
And I kind of tagged onto that, be thorough.
Okay.
Because I think the two kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
Although that's the reporter's, axiom is being factual.
Okay.
That's something I think that will really, make you marketable, help you stand out, is, sticking to being as objective as possible. And part of that is
Mhm.
being thorough, not always saying, well, I think I have all the facts, or
Right.
I think this story is ready to go,
Yeah.
but kind of, going back and checking and making sure you have everything straight.
Mhm.
Obviously it means like cross-checking things too to make
Yep.
sure your facts are straight, but also making sure that you went that extra step to get the info you needed, or maybe even that extra bit of info that would be helpful to the story.
Okay. Is there, so for example, is there kind of like a series of things that so like you kind of like, hey, I always check these 3 sources, or I talk to these 2 people? I mean, is there kind of a process that you go through to make sure, because obviously it's just, like you were talking about before, it's like we have to publish it by this date, we have to get it, but like, and you try to, like, you're checking, asking, and then sometimes it's just not going to be perfect. But is there kind of a method that you have that has helped make sure that you're being factual, being thorough, but also understanding that people are human, and people tend to exaggerate on things, or they, like, just even. Yeah, so if you're hanging out at my house, JJ's gonna be working you for some cookies. He might tell you any lie to get some cookies. So I'm gonna shut up. But like, just kind of what are kind of the steps that you walk through?
Yeah. So the first thing, the process would kind of depend on the story. So let's say it's like a story on the city passing a budget.
Okay.
For me, it would be, the first thing is obviously talking to the finance director, or getting that information on the numbers, essentially, what the budget is, where the money's being allocated, things like that. Background information on the actual budget, center of the story. And then it would be talking to city officials, maybe mayor or something like that, to kind of get a holistic sense of what's going on in the city.
Yep.
What the aim is, general direction for the budget, things like that. So, we kind of be pulling from multiple sources and, multiple angles, essentially.
Okay.
What you'd be going for.
Yeah.
So for a story like that, yeah, it'd be kind of all-encompassing and trying to see, obviously you have the aspect of, putting the numbers in there and, showing people exactly, what the budget looks like, but getting that general sense of what the city's going for.
Okay.
But the other thing I was going to say was, what was it you mentioned about the sources?
Or like is there certain like do's and don'ts, I guess? I remember, just like, again, talk about my writing background, and like I wasn't allowed to use Wikipedia as a source. So is there like certain sources that you would say, like, hey, be careful when you're reading these sources, but these sources tend to be factual, tend to be thorough? Like, is there kind of certain things?
Right, okay, yeah. So, if we have to like pull from other media organizations, which personally that doesn't happen a lot.
Okay.
But if you pull information from that, it has to be a reputable source. Associated Press, different news wires are always good.
Okay.
Other than that, we try to stick to things that are actual press releases.
Okay.
Rather than just social media.
Okay.
So sometimes press
Which is
releases are on social media.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of opinion on social media, regardless of if you're looking for facts or
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
looking for someone who's having a bad day, and you just had to read 12 pages about it on their Facebook post. But
Right.
so okay, so making sure it's more official press release from an official source. Trying to think what else. Yeah, is anything else that you do to make sure you're being thorough and factual?
Yeah. I'd say go the extra mile, which is
Okay,
something
alright.
I do a lot.
Speaking my language.
Yeah.
All right.
Even if it's just, let's say I'm going to an event that's kind of fun and
Yeah.
it's like a cute, fun story.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many stories I've written where I decided to talk to that one extra person
Yeah.
at the event, and it ended up like adding so much to the story.
Oh,
like
that's cool.
Even a great quote, or maybe just like an awesome anecdote that
Okay.
has something to do with the story.
Okay.
And I never regretted it. So
Awesome. All right. So go the extra mile. Talk to one more person.
yeah,
I like it.
exactly.
So, two, I guess, is there? So, if someone's looking again. They're trying to get into this industry or career. We kind of talked about it before about being professionally persistent. How how have you adapted, or are there certain things that maybe it's easier for you to talk to people? Be like, hey, I'm just like someone you don't know about, an event you've never been to before.
Yeah.
Is there certain tips that you would give on just working with complete strangers on a regular basis?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm naturally introverted, so
Okay.
starting out it was a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Going to, like you said, going to random events that
Yep.
I had no idea about going into it, and talking
Yeah.
to complete strangers, and not being from the area. Also,
Mhm.
I've lived here for a year now.
All right.
It was also a little bit of an adjustment,
Yeah.
but for me, I knew that it was my job.
Yep.
And I knew I had to go talk to people.
Yep.
And when I could do that, I actually started to, enjoy it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I knew this is my job. This is what
Yeah.
this
Gotta
is,
do
this is
it.
what I do. Exactly. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
approaching people, talking to people, and also finding new sources.
Yeah.
On the beat, it was an adjustment in the beginning, but now it's more like second nature. And
Got it. Okay.
I go in and say, this is my job, this is what I do, and it happens. So
Awesome. So it takes time, but it's so anybody watching, it's like, hey, I don't like talking to strangers. I mean, like, again, stuff that we tell our kids, like, don't talk to strangers unless it's for a sweet article for the News Herald, so
Right.
then you can talk to strangers. But, so it's something that just like writing and reading, it can be learned, like just the interpersonal skills that you've acquired. Like, it's not like, hey, I wasn't the best at it, and then I'm always going to be that way. It's just something you have to work towards as well.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And the timeliness of it too is something that you might have to be adjusted to. Sometimes I go to an event and end up spending like an hour and a half there,
Yeah.
when I could have spent a half hour,
Okay.
just going in and getting straight to the point, and
Mhm.
talking to people. Not that I'm trying to avoid people or be rude or anything
Mhm.
like that, but kind of just now it's easier to go in and know what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And be able to talk to people, and I guess it just goes a lot smoother.
Awesome. Mr. Smooth. I like it. So I like it.
Not quite.
So no, it's yeah. All right, cool. So thorough, factual, and again, it's just like, but it's even in what I do for a living, it's like I have to base everything on the facts, but nobody's gonna open up to me if I'm just like, what's the data? Show me the facts. Show me the numbers, kind of thing. So I guess anything else to add to being thorough and factual.
I would say being factual is also something that's really appealing to your sources.
Gotcha.
Because well, and readers as well, which is obviously
I don't want
number
facts,
one.
man. I want to be entertained. Come on.
Right. No, no sensationalism.
all right.
But
Okay.
sorry to disappoint. But yeah, being factual is obviously something good for your sources, because when they see that you're trustworthy and will read your stories, then they want to work with you, and it's like a lot of different industries. The media industry is a lot about having strong connections, strong professional connections, and you can't really underestimate that.
So it's like that's so kind of like in my world. Someone's confiding in me, but they know it's not going to be publicized. Someone's confiding in you. It's like, all right, I'm telling you this stuff, and it's definitely going, out to the world, when it's done. So it's important when you're talking to people that, they know that, I can trust Tyler to, rephrase, restate what I'm saying, where it's not going to come back and haunt me for opening up and just being like, probably shouldn't have said that, but so cool. All right,
trustworthy.
Being trustworthy. All right, building relationships. So just too, I think like that's such an important part when someone's thinking about getting into journalism. You're not really thinking about it's like you're everything's sales. I mean, you're selling that person. Hey, I'm a trustworthy source. I'm here to build a long-term relationship with you. I'm here for you, and whatever you tell me, I'm going to make sure it's factual and thorough, and we put it out to the world. So just kind of there's so many personal skills that you have to have for what's technically a non-personal career path, and I guess like that's just kind of a cliche. Thought that I even when I was thinking is like, well, if I go into writing, then I'm just going to be writing. I'm not going to actually be talking to people. But it's the opposite. Is you're going to be talking to a lot of people, so you can then therefore write.
Yeah.
So
having those personal skills and also having good judgment, obviously. A lot of people tell you things off the record and just having
off the
conversations.
record. That was everything I told you on the record is crap. So I was lying.
So it's using your brain and
use your brain. All right, cool.
Not betraying
My wife tries
trust.
to get me to do that. I need to off the record. I'll get some tips from you about how to use my brain at home, so so I don't get in trouble. So so use your brain, good judgment. I like it, man. Anything else to add?
Not to that, no.
Okay. Ooh, we're gonna save it for the third and final burn-proof success tip. I love it. So, well, thank you for joining us. Like I said, if you didn't check out the first tip, go check that out, and be sure to come back for the third and final way to stay burn-proof with the man, Tyler Rigg.